Hey everybody, it is Mike. It is Saturday. That means it's time for the Saturday Slashback Challenge. This is a challenge put together by our friend Joe at TheHORRORman. Each week, Joe gives us a new category of slashers to watch. It is up to us to find that movie that we want to review and review it. So, this week's challenge dealt with money. So, any movie that had an inheritance or like a challenge that or a game where they were going to win a certain amount of money or whatever. And there were a couple that I had thought about, but I ended up going with the movie that I wanted to rewatch anyway, just because I'm on the verge of purging most of these movies, and that is Wrong Turn 3. So Wrong Turn 1 and 2 were pretty good. I really liked the first one. I know that the first one got kind of beat up at the box office. People didn't really seem to grasp it, but I loved it. It was one of those movies that stuck with me for a while afterwards, and it's actually probably one of my favorite horror movies altogether. Wrong Turn 2 did not get a theatrical release because Wrong Turn 1 did not really do that great at the box office. And it was actually better than the first one, I thought. I love the first one. It's an all-time favorite. But as far as action, Part 2 had a lot more of it. Part 1 was more, it was more tension-filled to where Part 2 was just killing all kinds of people. Part 3 is where this franchise lost me. First of all, because most of it made absolutely no sense. Second of all, because I don't know, it just had a weird vibe to it was okay. I didn't hate it at first, but it just didn't make any sense. The whole movie's dumb. And then they just get worse after that. So basically Wrong Turn 2 starts out with a group of kids at a lake doing what kids do. Of course, you've got your gratuitous boob. And then an arrow gets shot through that boob and into the boyfriend's hands. They have this whole discussion about how nice the boobs are, and then, darn it, somebody let the bag out of the saline. I hate when that happens. Or silicone, whatever. Anyway, you see three of them get offed. And then all of a sudden we're at a prison, and these prisoners are going to be transported, and there's a really bad prisoner. So we've got undercover cops, and we've got all these people, and they're in a bus, and then all of a sudden this truck tries to run the bus off the road and kind of succeeds because of the tires being blown by barbed wire. And the bus rolls over. All the criminals get out and start heading through the woods to figure out what to do. Of course, we have Chavez as the bad prisoner. And then the one surviving girl from that first group appears out of the woods. She's trying to get away from the cannibals. And there's only two. There's Three Finger, and then there's the baby that was born at the end of Part 2, who's now being trained to be a cannibal, I guess, whatever. So, yeah, basically it's just these prisoners walking through the woods and fighting with each other and getting killed. But somewhere along the line, they find an overturned, Brinks, the money-hauling trucks. And they get in the back, and they steal all this money, as much as they can carry. And of course, they all know that Chavez will probably end up killing them before any of them get the money. So, yeah, there's a big fight between two of them. And then, for some reason, Chavez sits the money down. And the one guy that he beat up really bad picks up the money and takes off. And all the money and him get set on fire by Three Finger. Bummer. So that desire for money kind of went up in smoke, so to speak. And pretty much they all get killed, except for the girl. and the one guy who was a retired was a former military dude, and then the one cop. So the movie ends. Oh, and then Three Fingers gets killed, straight up dead. Thing through the head, through the brain, thrown on a car. Car blows up. He burns to nothing. But yet he's in 4, 5, and 6. Explain that to me. So yeah, and the movie ends with the police officer going back to that truck to get the remaining money, only to be shot by the other guy who was the military guy. And then the military guy gets killed by some kind of cannibal. We don't see the cannibal, we just see this thing that he kills him with, and you hear the guy screaming. So, yeah, see, if those two would have just not been so damn greedy, they would have lived happily ever after, probably one of them boinking that girl, who knows. But that's how it goes in the wild and wacky world of Wrong Turn 3. Yeah. Wrong Turn 4 completely turned me off of the franchise for any of the other movies. My friend Derek over at Derek's Horror Corner convinced me to watch, I believe it was 5, which the kills are fine, but I don't know. I just got so turned off on Wrong Turn 4 that, yeah. So I have like the entire series in a set, and I'm really thinking about getting rid of them and just having a standalone copy of 1 and 2. So, alright guys, so that is my Slashback entry for this week. Thanks, Joe, and can't wait for next week. Talk to y'all later. Bye!